And also, yes, Heather, I interrupted you, sorry. So at the hearing, is it kind of like a little trial, these hearings?
Yeah, they're like a mini trial.
Mm.
They have a similar format.
Okay.
The assessment officer will begin the hearing. The lawyer will go first. The lawyer whose bill is being disputed always has to prove the bill. They have to prove the time and the fees incurred were reasonable. It's always their responsibility. Then they can be cross-examined. Then the client, or whoever the other side is that's opposing it, they would give their evidence, and then they can be cross-examined. Then there would be closing submissions, and the assessment officer would make their decision.
Are the parties expected to cite case law?
I don't think there's an expectation to cite case law. The case law is not available under one specific court reporter. For example, the decisions by assessment officers cannot just be found on Canly. So if you need help finding some case law,
Yeah,
you can go to Canly and look up decisions on cost assessments. One way to do it is to look for motions that have been brought to oppose the confirmation, or motions that have been brought to have a matter referred to an assessment officer.
Okay.
So there is case law about it. It's just harder to find the case law from the assessment officers themselves.
Right, this is really good to know, thanks.
So it's a bit harder to find those decisions.
I see.
But there are factors that are commonly used by the assessment officer to come to their decision. So under the rules of civil procedure, there are factors that the assessment officer will deal with. And under the Solicitors Act, there are some factors as well that are very similar, but slightly different, that they'll consider in making their decision in determining if a bill is reasonable or not.
Interesting. And now what about costs? Because just the way you describe this hearing, it sounds, as you said, like a mini trial. So usually for trials, the loser has to pay the winner part of their costs. Does this principle apply as well in these hearings?
Yeah, so the principle applies, but it's in the discretion of the officer. So the officer might decide that no costs will be awarded for that hearing. So ultimately, there's no guarantee that if you win or you lose, there will be costs associated for this hearing.